this great illusion. When I spoke, people would hang on every word. They would remember every word. And then I spoke one time and figured out how that was true. I just want you to remember 6 words. Is that too many? 6? Anybody think you remember 6? Okay. And one of the words, or 3 of the words, are the same words. You're only got to remember 4 words. God. I want to think about God tonight. And the first thing that I want to suggest about God is I need to know God. That sounds really simple. But I want you to think. I want you to think really hard. I'm not going to talk long. I want you to think really hard about some things. Well, here's a question. Please don't answer out loud. Do you know God? Do you know God? Now, my question is not do you know about God? Do you know characteristics and attributes of God? But do you know God? And do you have a relationship with God? Cody had no clue. And the very first song, Be Still and Know That I'm God. Who's got the card with verse number 1 on it? Or with the number 1 on it? All right, would you read that verse? Tell us what the verse is, Ben, and read it.
Psalm 46, verse 10. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth.
If you're going to know God, it'll take time. It'll take a lifetime, and there'll still be things in that relationship with God that you're going to go, wow. The song that Michael was going to sing and then didn't ultimately sing, Amazing Love, and Can It Be? God and knowing God is the greatest venture you will ever undertake in your life. Because when you know people well enough, you're ultimately going to get disappointed. But when you know God and know God to a greater degree, you will never be disappointed, but you will be amazed. You'll be amazed at what God is, at who God is, at how God is. How many of you know Kay Ivey? Anybody know Kay Ivey? Well, you know about her, right?
She's the governor.
All right, you know about her. Well, what do you know? How do you know her? Or do you just know she's the governor?
She was in the magazine.
She was in a magazine? Okay, so you know about her, but do you know her? If she walked in that door, would she say, hey, Micah, how you doing? No. I've been in a room with Kay Ivey before she was a governor. She doesn't know me from Adam's proverbial house cat. She's a well-known figure. She's the governor of our state. I don't know Kay Ivey. And I can live and die and go to heaven without knowing Kay Ivey, and that's nothing against her. I need to know God. I need to know God and have a relationship with God. I don't need to have the relationships Chris has got with God. He needs his own, and I need my own. And you guys, teenagers, college-age people, your faith in God has to be your own. Laney can't be the guy 2 seats over. It's got to be yours because theirs won't carry you. My parents, my friends, knowing God. Knowing the God that literally turned his face from his son when he was upon the cross and was in heaven and listened as his son, who he let go, said, my God, my Father, why have you forsaken me? Do you know that God? Do you know that God that loved you so much? I've got a son. I'm not sure I'd let him die for any of you guys. I hope I would. I think I would. But even if he did, it wouldn't solve a single sin problem that you've got. But that God, knowing that God, and having the relationship like Jesus did with the Father, where for 3 times he gets down literally on his face and he prays, Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass. He knew the cup was death. And then he said, not my will, but yours be done. Do you know that God? Have you prayed that prayer to that God? When Jesus picked his apostles, he went out and he prayed all night. Do you know God well enough when you've got a big decision in your life that you spend quality time praying? I'm not talking about our rehearsed prayers. I'm talking about quality time praying to that God and knowing and learning how much that God loves me. And not knowing what people say about God, but the only way I can truly find God is through His Word. Yes, I see the nature around us, and I know from His Word that He's the Creator, but that God that is perfect in everything. I know some people that are really awesome in a lot of different areas, but there's no one that's perfect in every single one. When you get to know God, you see His love's perfect. His compassion is perfect. His mercy is perfect. His justice is perfect. His wrath is perfect. Everything about Him is perfect. And you get to know Him to the point that God does so much for us that we cannot do for ourselves. Who's got verse number 2? Go ahead, Larry.
Psalm 119:10 reads, with my whole heart I seek you, let me not wander from your commandments.
With my whole heart I seek you. As I think about food, there were some verses just randomly came to mind. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled as the deer pants for the water. Read that verse one more time, Lane.
Let me pull it back up.
Oh, man. All right.
I apologize.
All right, you're good. You're good.
With my whole heart I
Whoa. With my partial heart. What's that?
Hold.
With my whole heart I what?
Seek you.
I seek you. Knowing God with your whole heart. It's not about checking the box and coming to church. It's not about checking the box and being baptized. It's not about checking the box and not being atheist. It's not about any of those box-checking things. And I'm not minimizing any of those things. You see, when we think about baptism, it is there that God that we come to know's Son's blood was shed. And so it's important for me to understand, if He says it's essential, who am I? To say, well, it really doesn't matter. You can if you want to, or you can if you don't want to. But getting to know God, it is a daily, it is a lifelong pursuit. And you'll have to put your phone down. You'll have to put your television away for a moment. It takes focus. It takes concentration. It takes effort, but it's worth every minute of it. Who has the third verse? All right, go ahead.
1 John 4, 6 through 7. 1 John 4, 6 through 7. We are of God. He who knows God hears us. He who is not of God does not hear us. By this we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God.
We sing a song about that sometimes too. Everyone that loves is born of God and knows God. Love is not when Tyler treats me good, I treat him good, but when Tyler treats me bad, which he never would, that's not love. Love is not you act like I think you ought to act and I'm going to be kind to you. That's not love. God commended His love toward us that while we were sinners, He sent Jesus to die for us. If there's anything I can encourage you to do, it is know God. Get to know God. And you'll never get to the place where you say, got it. All I need to know, I know now. It is a fruitful, lifelong life experience that ultimately will determine whether you get to spend heaven with God. By knowing God, I'm not dependent upon someone else to teach me the truth. I appreciate people that teach me, but I have His Word. And when people show me, I'm ultimately looking at God. I'm looking at His Word. So God. Wow, that sounds a little bit different. That sounds a little strange. I don't use that phrase very often, but in the springtime, in the planting of seeds, what you sow is what you reap. And the importance, and what we're talking about in this phrase is this. Once I get to know God, I want everybody that I can come in contact with to know that God. And so I'm going to sow that seed. I'm going to sow God. I'm going to sow the message of God with every person. I want to tell people about my amazing God and about their amazing God and the great things that God does for me. Who has number 4? All right, go ahead, Cody.
Acts 1 and verse 8. Acts 1 verse 8. But ye shall receive power, after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem, and in Judea, and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth.
Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, the uttermost parts of the earth. He said, they, that time, the apostles, would be the witnesses for God. Sometimes we get hung up on that word witness. Please don't. And sometimes we narrow and crazy and, well, I didn't see him with my eyes and whatever. If you don't like the word witness, don't use that. But the point he makes is this. The point he makes is, I want you, God says to these apostles, Jesus in particular here, Jesus, God, says, I want you to tell everyone, start where you are, go further, and through ultimately the ends of the earth. Somebody was telling me out in 4 years, was talking about technology, how much you guys like technology. Some of us old people like technology too, but ours is just a little bit further behind. With the technology that you guys have, you can reach the entirety of this earth pretty much from your phone. You really can. And so with everything you've been blessed and given, I want to sow God. I want to plant that seed of who this God is. I want to say, Bailey, and I know Bailey knows God, but I want to say, Bailey, I want you to come to know the God that I know, and here's the place. That's an old-fashioned thing called a book Bible. So, but I want you to come to know that God, and I want you to know His Son, and I want you to know His Spirit, and I want to share that so that you can enjoy the greatest of blessings now and the greatest of blessings throughout eternity. Who has number 5? All right, go ahead, Jeff.
Mark 5, verse 19. Mark 5, verse 19.
Okay.
Howbeit Jesus suffered him not, but saith unto him, Go home to thy friends, and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and hath had compassion on thee.
This is such a cool story. A man was just filled with demons. He was dangerous. They had to chain him. Jesus removes his demons. Wow. I've had some demons in my life. Not those kinds of demons. You've probably had some demons, some struggles, some battles, and whatever. If you don't, you're going to have it. But Jesus released him from those. And that was a different kind than you and I may have today. But Jesus released him. And he said, I want to go, Caleb. I want to go with you. I want to be with you. If Jesus had done that for me, I'd have said, Jesus, I want to go with you. I just, wherever you're at, I want to be. Strangely enough, Jesus said, no, you can't go with me. I imagine he came, wow. I mean, you do all this for me and I can't go with you. But he had a more important mission. He said, go home. Go home and tell your friends what great compassion God, that Jesus had on him. That's what that means. To sow God. It means to tell your people in your family. It means to tell your people at your school. It means to tell your people at work what great things God has done for you. And these things aren't unrelated. When we get to know God, we'll want to sow God. I don't say this to embarrass you or me, but when's the last time we've told somebody what great things God has done in our life? I say with sadness, there are religious groups that are outgrowing us and outnumbering us not because they have truth, but because they're more energetic about sharing their message, which sometimes sadly is doctrinally incorrect, than we are about telling them about God and what great things God has done for us. If we're not careful, it's more likely to be something like this. Are you a Christian? Please don't ask me more about that. Well, I didn't do good tonight. By one point, we man, what a great blessing. Let me tell you about my God. Let me tell you about my Jesus. Let me tell you what great things He's done for me. Who has number 6? All right.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15.
All right.
But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear.
So in God. Sanctify, set him apart in your heart, and be ready. Ben, you go to the Church of Christ, don't you? Why, Ben, do you guys that believe Jesus is the Son of God? Are you ready to give that answer? Why do you do this, or why do you not do that? Or, I notice y'all didn't use instruments in your worship, and you guys talk about baptism. You don't let the women preach, and why is that? We need to know two things. We need to know the doctrinal portion of it. That's important. Speak the things the book says which become sound doctrine. Jesus said there are those that worship in vain, teaching for doctrine the commandments of men. Why do we do? I want to give a book, chapter, and verse answer. Sanctify the Lord God. Be ready to give an answer to everybody that asks you. But it needs to get beyond the doctrinal issues. It needs to get beyond why we do or we don't use instruments of music, why the women do or don't take a leading role. But the God that we serve has given us instruction. He's our King, He's our Lord, He's our Master, He's our ruler, and His words are so important. And we're humble in our submission to Him, and we dare not to the left nor to the right walk away. And there are areas where He's given us great liberty, and we study His Word. Can I sit down and study that Word with you? Can we look and see what God says in our lives? We're sowing God, sowing the seed, as we sometimes sing, sowing the seed of the kingdom to others. And then number 3, I encourage us to show God. To show God. Tom talked the other day about no one seeing God physically like we see each other. So how are people going to see God? The only way they're going to see God is to look into James' life. And to look into Briley's life, and to look into every person here's life to see God. Now, they may, Bailey was the only one I saw that had the hand Bible, so James or whoever it is, but they may look and they may see, but most likely the first place they're going to see God is in us. They're going to see something different. That doesn't mean we get a different haircut, or that doesn't mean we wear different jewelry, or that doesn't mean that we just, wear a purple, green, and polka dotted hat just to stand out and be different. But they're going to see the attributes of God in our life. Who has number 7? All right, go ahead, Kevin.
Matthew 5 and verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden.
Light of the world. He didn't say you're in the light of a dark corner. He said the whole world is depending on you, depending on me, to be the spiritual light. He says a city that's set on a hill cannot be hid. We're that city, we're that light. And people need to see not perfection, but they need to see faithfulness, because we can't accomplish sinless perfection. But they can tell the people that are trying. They can tell the people that are committed, that have priorities, serving our God and showing our God. Who has number 8?
Matthew 5:16. And it says, Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
Showing God. Let your light shine before men, that they see good works. He didn't say they hear good words. There's a part of it that's involving words. How shall they hear unless someone teach them? But here's the part where he said they see your good works, and I don't get the glory, and you don't get the glory, but they glorify the Father which is in heaven. He said, shine your light. He didn't say double beam them. He didn't say honk your horn. He said, shine your light. Let it shine so that others can see. Who has number 9? All right, James.
Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of believers in word and conversation, charity, and spirit, and faith and purity. That's 1 Timothy 4:12.
I don't know, Tom, if I ever hear any message to young people that doesn't eventually get to that verse. Don't let anybody despise you. It's a wonderful verse. Don't let anybody put you down. Don't let anybody discourage you because of you. But the message is, be the example. Be the example of the believers. And then he talks about the different areas to be. What are you doing? You're showing God. And in a sense, you're sowing God. Because you know God. There's a place that it begins. It begins with knowing God. And I beg you, spend time every day getting to know God. It'll change your prayer life. It'll change your life. It'll change your priority of life. Try to spend time every day sowing God. Sow it if it's nothing more than a Facebook post or a text or something else, a word. You know, here's a real strange thing too. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with this. It's called a phone call. Anybody ever done that? It's kind of back to the old days. Kind of like cassettes and 8-tracks and all that other stuff. But you can actually do that. You can pick up the phone and really call people. But, you know, whatever it may be, spend some time every day showing God. You're not going to do it perfectly. One of the things that people most appreciate about Christians are when we mess up, we fess up. We don't blame it on somebody else. We don't say I'm perfect. We don't try to pretend that what we did wrong is right. But I'm sorry. I messed up. I sinned. Will you forgive me? I want to repent of that. 6 words. All the words used 3 times. Know God, sow God, show God. Let's pray.